So in this video, I'm gonna review all the tools and products that we use for cleaning wheels and tires, as well as give you some tips on how we run our operations to be most efficient when we're actually working on the customer's vehicle. I'll have all the links to everything that I mentioned in the video description below because I'm not gonna remember every single name. So let's get started with this video. When we have a vehicle coming into the shop for a premium wash, a wash and wax, a one-step prepping, whatever the case is, and we're gonna wash the vehicle, this is where we have all our brushes and pump sprayers and pressure washer and blower for that process. Now, off camera, but I'll still show you, is our water containment mat. This unit doesn't have a drain, so we have to contain the water so this doesn't go all over the place. So we use the containment mat. I'll link it down below. We beat the crap out of it. We fold it, we drive over it, like folded, we drive over it. We put trucks on it. We've used this and it has held the entire time with no problem, no cuts, no anything. So I highly recommend this containment mat if you're finding yourself in a similar situation where you need some type of mat, whether you're mobile or at a shop. I do recommend the one that we have here. We have the longest version of it. Anyhow, so first we have this 50-gallon drum over here. Now, yes, this shop also doesn't have a water spigot, so we have to find a different solution for that. So we have a water tank on this, whatever you want to call this here. Now, we don't move it at all. It's just to kind of clean up the space and get it off the ground. And the way we get water is at the end of the business park. We have a spigot there, so we literally make bucket runs and we fill up the tank. So if it's a completely empty tank and we need 45 waters, well, just, you know, if one person takes two 5-gallon buckets, they need to make at least four trips in order to fill the bucket. Yes, I know it's not ideal, but it's what we have to do. It is what it is. We also have this. It's not gravity fed. We have it on a pump. So we have I think this is a C-Flow pump, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, this is a C-Flow professional grade pumps. We've gone through quite a few of them, but the C-Flow pumps have done us the best. I'll try to find the exact model number. Well, I'll find it and I'll link it down below. Although I say that a lot of times and I end up not doing it, so please don't hate me if I don't. So we have it on an actual pump. We have a Y connector. Actually, we have a Y connector, but we only use one. Next, we have our Karcher 1700. So this goes back to, like, you don't need some big, crazy, 2300 PSI adjustable pressure washer. This is literally 1700 PSI with 1.2 GPM. It's not the best, not the coolest, not the neatest, but it's what we use. We've used it now for over a year and it's been holding up fine. We actually ordered yet another Karcher 1700 to have as our second setup in a second van or wherever. But we ordered another one just because it's working that well. Next, we have the full MTM gun. I don't know if this is from MTM itself. It's stuck on there, so I'm not gonna bring it out. I don't know if this is from MTM itself, Mosmatic. But anyways, it's your typical. It's a pressure washer gun with all quick releases. And the hose here is a 50-foot hose. Now, we're actually going to drop it to a 25-foot hose because there's no need for us to have a 50-foot hose here at the shop because it's extra work for us to roll it up and keep it organized. So we're actually going to replace the 50-foot hose and move that to the second unit, and then we're going to take the 25-foot hose that we purchased and we're going to put it here on this pressure washer. We also have quite a few of the attachments. So we have the lance, and then we have an additional I forgot what this is called, but it's a rubberized tip. That way, if it does come unleashed from the gun, it's not going to completely damage the paint, so that does help. This is a lance from, I don't know, everything I mentioned will be linked down below. Next, we have this, and this is a recent purchase that we made. This is the Big Boy Blower Pro. So I think as far as what's available in the US, because I believe Esoteric is the only one that sells these in the US. That's the biggest one that they had. It was like $450, $60, somewhere around there. But it is a dual motor blower, and we've only used it for a little while, and I'll make a review video probably on the Proper Care channel on about this unit. But anyways, that's what we use now. We have quite a few other ones actually. We have an X-Power handheld one. We have a Metro Sidekick handheld one, and then we also have a generic motorcycle / pet blower. But by far the and in the van we have the Ego blower. This one, with the limited amount of time that we've used it, we absolutely love it. Next, specifically for wheel cleaning, we have the IK foam Pro pump sprayers. The absolute biggest reason why we love these, and that we have 3 of them actually, is that you can pressurize it with the compressor. So instead of manually pumping, which we never manually pump these, we have a attachment on the compressor. We hook it up to the pump sprayer, and within a few seconds it's completely pressurized, and not so much that it's foam, but it's just the main portion is that because it's pressurized, it just gives you a fantastic spray. So whether it was foam or not, I'd be very happy with this type of pump sprayer. Now, shout out to Miranda from Miranda's Detailing. He sent me a link that you can basically you can add that thing to just about any pump sprayer. I haven't looked at it, but shout out to Phil, because I didn't know that until he sent me that. So thank you, Phil. Next is we have 2 buckets, 2 wheel buckets and 2 wash buckets, meaning just clean water. The reason why we do that is, if you saw the previous video or a video about our $7,000 extractor setup, is because when we're working here, each person needs to have their own set of tools and products on each side. That way they work, as I said the word a lot in the last video, they work independently, meaning if you're on the left side of the vehicle and you're cleaning the wheels, tires, fenders, whatever, you should not have to wait for the other person at all to need anything, right? Like, that's one thing you want to cut out. Now, the only thing where we're having trouble on with that is our pressure washer, just because we can't have 2 pressure washers right now, at least. So we still have to share the pressure washer. But as far as like, there's literally 2 sets of every brush in these ones. So there's no reason why the person on the left side should be waiting or handing off to someone on the right side, because we have 2 complete setups. So within this brush setup right here, we have yet another IK pump sprayer. This one has in here we have super clean diluted 4:1, and I believe here it's still super clean 1:1. So if we want to get a bit more aggressive, in this bottle right here, it is acid, so be careful with that. And I know a lot of people say that like they don't like to use acid because it's dangerous or whatever, like on wheel surfaces, and you can damage something. And you know, if you're a professional, that's kind of the point. Like you're gonna know when to use it, when not to use it, and how not to use it. So that's why you're a professional, because you know when and how and where to use certain tools so that you get the job done, but without damaging it. So yeah, so we've never had a problem with the acid. On top of that, your basic stuff. We're gonna have a bunch of lug nut brushes here, a tire brush, this inner barrel wheel, a fender brush, a smaller inner barrel wheel, just an assortment of brushes. We have grit guards in these. It's more so just to keep the brushes above all that brake dust and gunk from the bottom. But other than that, it's the same setup for the most part on the second one. Now, we don't have the exact same brands on each one. Like they're not similar brands. It's whatever works. Like this one is Max Shine. This one is Easy Detail Brush. Yeah, so again, I'll link everything down below. And as far as you can tell, again, all of these are on casters. I think that's what they're called. But all of these can just move around freely, because again, it goes back to like, do you want to be able to? You want to have to pick it up and move it, or can you just like kick it, or not kick it, but you know, like move it along and just keep the process moving? You know. So again, yes, it's like, is this overkill? Not really, because if we have 2-3 people working on a vehicle, how can everyone be efficient if there's only one set of everything and each one is trying to do their own thing, but they have to wait for the next person to get their tool to continue working? So for us, it's not overkill. Like it costs money. It's not cheap, but once you have everything set up, it's like, all right, like if there's 4 people here, there's 2 cars, we can easily bring it in, knock it out, take it out, put it in, start it. Like that's the whole point of trying to run an effective operations over here, because like the more cars you're starting to get, the more work that you have to do. Just you have to start cutting out the fluff, start cutting out the fat. Again, like if you have 1 car per day, you can get it. You can do everything with 20% of what we have. Once you have 2, 3, 4, 5 cars per day, it's a little bit different to manage all that type of work. So that's our current setup right now. As anything, as all the videos that I mentioned that I talk about, it's like you literally build this over time. As you get more customers, as you make more money, you get to expand your tool set and expand the arsenal that you have, you know, based on your volume, your team, what you're doing, your goals and such. So don't think like you look at this, you're like, oh man, all right, bet I'm gonna order everything he has down below. Like, don't do that. It's built over time. So I'll end it right here. Again, check the description box down below for those links. My ultimate guide to start your detailing business, my podcast, the Detailing Business Class podcast, and literally anything else that you want to find will be located down in the video description below. I'll talk to everyone on the next one.